Hello everyone, thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. I hope everyone's having a good day today and doing a lot of crafting. And today we're going to make a pocket notepad booklet, and I just think it's a pretty cool little idea. It doesn't take long to make, so we're just going to get started. And this is a good project if you just have smaller pieces like of your scrapbook paper, your digital papers. Let's see. We'll start out with the measurements. This one measures about approximate 7.5 by 6 3/4, and that's the cut size. And then I just rounded my edges and inked my paper, and we're going to add a couple little pockets to it, one on the front, one on the inside, and then we're going to add a notepad over here on this side. And let me see, the paper is cut about you could cut it about this one is about 7 1/8. Let's see, by about 2 3/4. Now this size here will depend on how long you make your little booklet. I have a couple that I'll show in a couple minutes that's a little bit smaller. So you just cut your stuff to fit the size of your notepad. And the pockets are about 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. So I think we'll start out by adding the front pocket first. So I'm just going to do the 3 sides. Which one do I want on the front? I think this one. And you can use whatever glue you would like. I'm just using Fabri-Tac. And I just leave it up away from the bottom a little bit and away from the edges, just to give a little border around it. Just want to do a small bead of glue so you leave a lot of room in your pocket. And we'll just flip it to the inside. And I went ahead and inked all of my pieces. If you don't like to ink, you don't have to ink. I just did all of mine in advance so it doesn't take quite so long. All right, now for my notepad, I just cut a little header. And this is about 1 1/8, and you just go by the width of your paper. So it's about 2 3/4. And I just fold it in half. You can make the piece wide enough to fold over, or you can just cut a little narrow piece to put on front. It's however you want to do it. And then these I just staple on. Oh, wait a minute, I have the wrong side on here. This is the front. So let's put it the right way. I wanted my little flowers to show on the front. Now I put about 10 pieces of paper in here. You can put more because there's plenty of room in the notepad. And your papers don't all have to be the same size. They can be wider and narrower. They can be shorter and longer. Today I just chose to leave them all the same size. And then I'm just going to glue this in. And then when your paper's all gone, you can just take it off and take the header off and just add new paper into it if you'd like. Or you can use it as a one-time thing and that's it. This would also be good for when you go to the grocery store. You can write your grocery list on here, put it in your purse, have any little notes with you about anything that you have to remember to do while you're out. Lots of stuff. Now I cut 2 little journal pockets. One to go in each pocket, and it's about, now you have to cut the length by the height of your pocket. This is about 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 long, and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's about 2 3/4. Kind of hard to see. The ruler glares in the light. Hopefully I wasn't blinding you. So that fits there, and these can almost remind you of the hidden tag. Put the little header on it to match your pocket. And the size of this little header I just did with my scrap pieces that was left over. And I just rounded my edges so you can journal on the front and back both. But the way they slide down in there, your header is going to match your pocket. And if you didn't want that to show, well, you could just ink it. But I think that looks good. Now on the inside, because we have blank space here, because of course this is just single-sided paper, I just cut a couple of labels. I'm going to put one there, put one there, and I'm just going to put the matching notebook paper on each one, just to make it, you know, look about the same. You can put the notebook paper on there, your matching paper, or you don't have to. And this is just coffee dyed paper. So I'm going to use my glue stick for this. The paper just seems to lay down a little bit better when you use glue stick. I just used a tag that I had and just used it as a pattern. Now that was supposed to be cut just a little bit shorter, but I must not have been paying attention. But that's okay. We will use it anyway. Let's see how this one fits. Well, it fits the same way, so we're not going to change it. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just fun to make them. Now I'm also going to use glue stick on the back of these to glue them down. And if you don't want these on here and you want another little notepad or another little pocket, you can also add that over there. Can put a pretty little picture on it. Most anything. Now after I was done cutting out my stuff, I had, you know, just little pieces left over, so I thought just to tie it all together, could cut a strip and put down through there. Let me see which way I like it better. I think I want that up there. And this is just some little extra thing I did with my scrap. You can do something like this or you don't have to. It's just a good way to use up scraps. And just slip it under your pocket. There. Just slide our little card back in. There, and I think that looks good. Now on the front, make sure my glue is dry. On the front, I just took a piece of lace. Just has a little flower design on it. And I'm going to glue the lace down. This is just one of them little cigarette cards. And I thought they do a lot of stuff with butterflies. So I thought with these the birds looked nice. And the blue in the bird goes good with the blue in the paper. I'm going to change bottles of glue. Still going to use my Fabri-Tac, but this one has a bigger nozzle on it. So I found that it's easier just to hold my lace in place and just guess on how far out I got to put my glue and glue half of it at a time. I just thought the lace made it look kind of fancy. Just something for the little label to sit on. And I'll just glue my bird on. And I inked around these also. Okay, now I'm going to put a little word on there, beautiful. Because that little birdie is beautiful. And these are just words that I typed out on the computer and printed out. There. I think that turned out good. And I'll set this aside and set this aside and show you the other ones that I made. So we'll go through one more time. We have your tag. I could have stamped a little flower or something on it also. The paper is not, I mean, it's just coffee dyed paper, so it's not real stiff. And that tag. And I could maybe just have to trim the paper a little tiny bit narrower. And then the little journaling things and the little notepad. Now this can be, if you're using it in your journal, it can be glued in or it can be set into a pocket. Either one. Under a belly band. This is the first one that I made. This is Be Joyful. just the same cards. And then I just added that strip there and the header for my my notepad. Now these two here are a little bit smaller. I didn't have full-size sheets of paper when I made these. So, and you don't have to have full-size paper. You can just use some of your papers that you've already used out of. You have smaller pieces of paper. And see, because it's shorter, these come down a little bit farther. I could have made this pocket a little bit shallower, but I thought I had enough paper, so I thought I would just leave it the full depth. Put my header on there. I thought that paper was pretty, and this guy, he believes. Now this one here is also a shorter one, and I was lacking on my paper, so my pockets are narrower. So therefore the little journal card had to be cut shorter, so you just have to cut everything to the size of your paper. So this journal card is the same way. It's a little shorter, the same width, but just shorter. And I have them up there in my notepad. And this little guy is grateful. So they're just all on the piece of lace. I just thought that the birds all looked pretty on them. So I hope y'all enjoyed my video. And if you've made any of these pockets like this, just let me know. So hope everyone has a good day and makes a lot of crafts. So we'll see you again soon. Bye.